Imagine for a moment that your entire world consists of just one person. You don't have a phone, you don't have a job, you don't have friends you can call when things go wrong. Your meals, your safety, your exercise, and your very sense of self depend entirely on the consistency of the human staring back at you. This is the reality for your dog. To them, trust isn't just a nice emotional bonus. It is the oxygen of their existence. But here's the scary part. Trust that takes years to build can be shattered in a single afternoon by behaviors we might think are harmless or even funny. If you've noticed your dog suddenly flinching, hiding under the bed, or looking at you with a heavy, uncertain gaze, you might have inadvertently crossed a boundary you didn't even know existed. Today, we are pulling back the curtain on the silent fractures in the human-canine bond. We are breaking down 10 things that break your dog's trust instantly, from the psychological impact of teased expectations to the physiological trauma of unpredictable reactions. If you want to ensure your legacy as your dog's hero remains intact, you need to hear this because some of these behaviors are mistakes even the most loving owners make every day. The first thing on our list is something that many people do for a quick laugh on social media, but it is actually a major betrayal of the canine spirit: teasing with food or toys. Think about the classic fake throw. You go through the entire motion of hurling the ball, but you keep it hidden behind your back. Your dog takes off at a full sprint, eyes searching the sky, only to realize there is nothing there. Or imagine holding out a treat and pulling it away the moment their nose brushes your hand. To us, it's a tiny joke. To a dog, it is a fundamental breakdown of communication. Dogs are literal beings. They rely on your hand signals and body language as if they were a survival manual. When you intentionally mislead them for your own amusement, you are telling them that your signals cannot be trusted. You are essentially saying that the language you share is a lie. Over time, a dog that is frequently teased will stop engaging with you with that bright, open enthusiasm. They become skeptical. They look at your hand with suspicion rather than joy. You've traded their absolute faith for a 5-second chuckle, and in the world of the pack, that is a high price to pay. Moving to the second point, we have to talk about inconsistent rules. This is the slow-acting erosion of trust. Imagine you have a rule that the dog isn't allowed on the white sofa. 6 days a week, you enforce this strictly. But on the 7th day, you're feeling a bit lonely or tired, so you pat the cushion and invite them up for a snuggle. The dog is happy in the moment, but their internal compass is now spinning. The next day, when they jump up on their own and you get frustrated and tell them to get down, they aren't thinking, "Oh, I shouldn't be here today." They are thinking, "My human is unpredictable." Dogs thrive on structure. When the law of the house changes based on your mood, the dog loses their sense of security. They stop knowing how to please you, and that creates a baseline of constant anxiety. If they can't predict your reaction to their behavior, they start to distance themselves to avoid making a mistake. They are telling you that they need a steady hand, and when you provide a shifting one, the foundation of trust starts to crumble. Third on our list is a big one: using their safe word or recall for something they dislike. We've all been there. You need to give the dog a bath, or clip their nails, or put them in the crate so you can leave. You call out their name or your come command in your most cheerful, "It's a party" voice. Your dog, full of love and excitement, races to your side expecting a treat or a pat. Instead, you grab their collar and drag them toward the bathtub. This is a tactical betrayal. You have weaponized their obedience. The next time you actually need them to come to you, perhaps when they've slipped out the door and are heading toward a busy street, they are going to hesitate. They are going to remember the bath betrayals and the nail clip traps. You have taught them that listen to you can lead to an unpleasant outcome. You've broken the contract of the recall, and in an emergency, that lost trust can have devastating consequences. Always make sure that your come command is associated with the best things in their life, and if you need to do something they hate, go to them instead of tricking them into coming to you. Fourth, let's talk about the impact of shouting or explosive emotional outbursts. Dogs are masters of sensing human adrenaline and cortisol. When you lose your temper and scream at the top of your lungs, even if you aren't screaming at them, your dog perceives a chaotic, dangerous environment. They don't understand the nuances of your bad day at work or your frustration with a broken appliance. All they see is the person who is supposed to be their calm, steady leader turning into a loud, unpredictable threat. This causes a physical stress response in the dog. Their heart rate spikes, their ears pin back, and they might even cower because dogs live in the now. They associate that fear directly with your presence in that moment. If you become a source of noise and anger, They will start to view you as someone to be managed rather than someone to be leaned on. They are telling you that they need a protector. And when you become the thing they need protection from, the bond is severely fractured. The fifth thing that breaks trust is forcing them into social confrontation. We often want our dogs to be the most popular pup at the park, or we want them to love our friend's new puppy as much as we do. But sometimes, your dog is telling you through their body language that they are uncomfortable. Their tail is tucked, they are yawning, they are turning their head away, or they are hiding behind your legs. If you ignore those signals and force them to interact, maybe by pushing them toward the other dog or letting a stranger corner them for a pet, you are failing in your role as their guardian. You are essentially throwing them to the wolves. Your dog needs to know that you are the bouncer of their social life. When you force them into situations that terrify them, they realize that you aren't paying attention to their needs. They stop looking to you for guidance and might start taking matters into their own paws by growling or snapping as a last resort. You've broken the trust that you are their advocate in a complex world. Sixth on the list is something very subtle: the stare down. As we've discussed in other videos, eye contact with a favorite person is a sign of love, but there is a very different kind of eye contact that breaks trust: the aggressive, unblinking glare. Sometimes owners do this to assert dominance or to discipline a dog after they've done something wrong. In the canine world, a prolonged, intense stare from a larger being is a direct threat. It is a sign of an impending confrontation. When you stare your dog down until they look away in shame or fear, you aren't teaching them a lesson in the way you think. You are bullying them. You are using your physical size and the intensity of your gaze to create a state of submission rooted in fear rather than a state of cooperation rooted in respect. This causes a dog to feel uneasy around your face. They might start avoiding eye contact altogether, which shuts down that love loop of oxytocin we talked about before. You've turned a tool of connection into a tool of intimidation. Seventh is the delayed punishment. This is perhaps the most common way trust is accidentally eroded. You come home after a long day and find that your dog has chewed up your favorite pair of shoes. You are frustrated, so you grab the shoe, bring it to the dog, and start scolding them. The dog looks guilty. They are cowering, licking their lips, and avoiding eye contact. But here is the scientific reality. The dog has no idea why you are angry. They don't link the scolding to the act of chewing that happened 3 hours ago. They link the scolding to the act of you coming through the door. To the dog, you just walked in and became a source of anger for no discernible reason. The guilty look is actually a submissive look, intended to calm you down because they see you are upset. When you punish a dog for something they did in the past, you become a random, erratic force in their eyes. They start to fear your homecoming because they never know if angry human or happy human is going to walk through that door. You've broken the trust that your reactions are fair and understandable. The eighth behavior is neglecting their canine needs for your convenience. Dogs have biological imperatives. They need to sniff, they need to move, and they need to explore. If every walk you take is a business trip where the dog is pulled along on a short leash and scolded the moment they stop to sniff a bush, you are breaking their trust in a fundamental way. Sniffing is how a dog reads the world. It is their primary source of mental stimulation. When you constantly deny them the chance to engage with their environment because you are in a rush, you are telling them that their needs don't matter. Over time, this leads to a shutdown dog or a dog that becomes frustrated and reactive. They stop seeing the walk as a shared adventure with their favorite person and start seeing it as a chore where they are constantly being corrected for just being a dog. You've broken the trust that you have their best interests and their joy at heart. Ninth is physical betrayal disguised as play. This includes things like blowing in their ears, pulling their tail, or tapping them repeatedly when they are trying to sleep. Again, many owners think this is just bonding or playing. But for a dog, physical boundaries are important. If your dog is resting peacefully and you constantly startle them or do things that you know irritate them just to see their reaction, you are violating their safe space. They stop feeling that they can relax in your presence. They might start sleeping in a different room or waking up the moment you enter the area. They are telling you that they no longer trust you to respect their peace. A dog needs to know that their home is a sanctuary, and when the person they love most becomes a source of constant, low-level physical annoyance, that sanctuary is gone. Finally, the 10th thing is the most heartbreaking of all: emotional withdrawal. Dogs are pack animals that evolve to be in constant social contact. If your dog makes a mistake and you respond by shunning them, ignoring them for hours, refusing to look at them, or putting them in a separate room for a timeout that lasts far too long, You are attacking their very core. To a dog, being out of the pack is a terrifying experience. It's a social punishment that causes deep psychological distress. Unlike humans, who might use a cold shoulder to signal hurt feelings, a dog interprets social isolation as an existential threat. When you withdraw your love and presence as a form of discipline, you aren't teaching them to be better. You are teaching them that your love is conditional and can be taken away at any moment. This creates a fawning dog, one that is desperately trying to please you out of fear of being abandoned, rather than out of genuine affection. You've broken the trust that your bond is unbreakable. So how do we fix it? If you've realized that you've done some of these things, and let's be honest, almost everyone has. The good news is that the human-canine bond is incredibly resilient. Dogs are the most forgiving creatures on the planet. But rebuilding trust requires a commitment to radical consistency. You have to become the most predictable thing in your dog's life. You have to start showing up as a calm, fair leader who respects their boundaries and understands their language. The first step in rebuilding is to stop the teasing immediately. If you have a treat, give the treat. If you have a ball, throw the ball. Start showing your dog that your word is your bond. Re-establish the contract of the recall. Spend a week just calling them and giving them the highest value reward possible. Steak, cheese, or their favorite squeaky toy, and then letting them go back to what they were doing. Show them that coming to you is always a win-win scenario. This starts to repair the tactical betrayal of the bath traps. Next, work on your own emotional regulation. If you're feeling angry or frustrated, take 5 minutes to breathe before you interact with your dog. Become the calm in the center of the storm. When your dog sees that you can handle your own emotions, they will start to trust your leadership again. They will stop looking at you for signs of a blow-up and start looking at you for guidance. Respect their no. If your dog moves away when you try to hug them, let them go. By respecting their physical space, you are telling them, I hear you and I respect your boundaries. Ironically, the more you respect their space, the more they will likely choose to come into yours. Rebuilding trust also means becoming their advocate. The next time a stranger wants to pet your dog and you see your dog looking uncomfortable, be the one to say, not today, he needs some space. When your dog sees you standing up for them in a social situation, their trust in you will skyrocket. They realize that they don't have to defend themselves because you've got the perimeter covered. This is the hallmark of a favorite person. Not just someone who feeds them, but someone who protects them from the world. And what about the delayed punishment? Toss that out of your toolkit forever. If you find a chewed shoe and the dog isn't currently chewing it, just clean it up silently. The moment for teaching has passed. Instead, focus on preventing the behavior by giving them appropriate things to chew and keeping your shoes in a closet. When you stop being a random source of anger, your dog's base-level anxiety will drop. They will start to feel that their environment is safe again. We also have to talk about the quality of the walk. Try a decompression walk. This is where you put the dog on a long lead in a safe area and just let them sniff whatever they want for 30 minutes. Don't pull, don't rush, don't look at your phone. Just be there with them. This is a massive deposit in the trust bank. You are telling them, I value your canine nature. I am here for you. This shared experience, where you are following their lead for once, creates a deep sense of partnership. Correcting physical betrayal is about creating positive physical touch. Stop the ear blowing and the tail pulling. Instead, learn where your dog actually likes to be touched. Is it under the chin, behind the ears, the base of the tail? Focus your physical interaction on things that actually make them lean in and close their eyes in happiness. Re-establish your hands as a source of comfort only. When your dog knows that your touch is always a safe and loving thing, they will stop flinching and start seeking you out for comfort. Finally, address the emotional withdrawal. If your dog makes a mistake, correct the behavior in the moment and then move on. Don't hold a grudge. A dog doesn't understand grudges. They understand current energy. Be quick to forgive and even quicker to return to a state of peace. By showing your dog that your relationship is stable even when they make a mistake, you provide them with the ultimate security. You become their anchor. Trust is a two-way street. Your dog trusts you with their entire life, literally. They trust you to provide food that won't make them sick, to take them on walks in safe places, and to keep them warm when it's cold. In return, they give you a level of loyalty that is unmatched in the animal kingdom. But that loyalty shouldn't be taken for granted. It should be nurtured through respect and consistency. Think about the ancestral bond one more time. Wolves and humans didn't start sitting together because of tricks or treats. They started sitting together because they mutually benefited from each other's presence. There was a baseline of trust that the other wouldn't attack in the night. That ancient primal trust is still inside your dog. They want to trust you. They are biologically programmed to seek a leader and a companion in you. When you avoid these 10 trust-breaking behaviors, you are allowing that ancient programming to flourish. When a dog truly trusts their human, the relationship changes. You'll notice them sleeping on their back with their paws in the air, the ultimate sign of vulnerability and trust. You'll notice them looking at you for permission before they investigate something new. You'll notice that full-body smile we talked about in the other video. A trusting dog is a happy, confident, and well-behaved dog. Most behavioral issues are actually just trust issues in disguise. A dog that snaps at strangers is often a dog that doesn't trust their owner to protect them. A dog that won't come when called is often a dog that doesn't trust the outcome of coming to the human. In the end, breaking your dog's trust usually isn't about being a bad person. It's about a loss of translation. We speak human, they speak dog. We think we are playing. They think we are being erratic. We think we are teaching. They think we are being unpredictable. By learning these 10 points, you have become a better translator. You have learned how to protect the most precious thing in your dog's life, their faith in you. Take a look at your dog right now. Are they looking at you with soft eyes? Are they relaxed in your presence? If so, you're doing a great job. But keep these points in your pocket. Remember them the next time you're frustrated, or the next time you're tempted to play a little trick for a video. Your dog's trust is worth more than any laugh or any moment of convenience. It is the greatest honor they can give you. Thank you for being the kind of owner who wants to understand their dog on a deeper level. By valuing their trust, you are ensuring that your partnership remains one of the most successful and loving stories in the history of the world. Treat their faith like the treasure it is, and they will reward you with a lifetime of unwavering loyalty and joy. Keep being their hero, stay consistent, and remember that in their world, you are everything. Thank you for joining me on this deep dive into the canine heart. It's a place where trust is the only currency that matters. Stay close to your furry best friends, keep learning their language, and cherish every single look of love. You've earned it by being the protector they need.